Thanks. Okay, so let's get started. So basically, I've been working on this for the last 12 months. Basically, back in July of 2014, a bunch of us were looking around at our numbers and we're like, oh my God, this whole mobile web thing, like it's kind of coming out of nowhere, and there are a lot of people using it, and they kind of like it. And we're doing pretty well, so maybe we should figure out what to do with this. At that point, we were investing almost exclusively in mobile apps. So we were heavy in mobile apps. Our mobile apps are some of the best in real estate. We sort of had been really in that place and hadn't really been thinking about mobile web at all. For us, it was a front door to get people into our apps. So we decided we were going to flip that around. We were pretty excited about where we were. So we thought we'd go big. We basically decided 12 months ago that we were going to quadruple our page views on mobile web. That's a little crazy. When you're talking about a company the size of Zillow, just to put it in perspective, we're talking hundreds of millions of page views. So to do that at scale is a pretty big deal. In retrospect, I should not have signed up for it. You're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, oh my God, it's Pandora's box. Where on earth do we start? Seriously, we really were a little bit clueless on this, but we knew there was a lot of room. So we started with the consumer, because at Zillow, that's what we focus on. We focus on somebody who's looking to buy a home. We focus on somebody who's really passionate about finding their next dream house. So this is our core page. We refer to it as the home details page. When you're looking at a house, this is the listing. And so really we're focused on a couple of core features here, and they're really small. So I'm going to point them out to you because you might miss them. So a lot of people come to our house and they're like, oh, this is a really great house. I love it, but do I like the neighborhood? And the old maxim in real estate is location, 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 right? And so we did something really radical. We added a map onto this page, and we added it really front and center. So we made it actually one of the core first actions you could do was clicking on that map. It sounds really simple, I know, but it had a dramatic impact. The next thing we did, when people are thinking about a house and when they're dreaming about where they're going to live, they want to know every detail, and they're really, really passionate about visuals. Photos matter a lot in this process. So again, super groundbreaking, we added a full page carousel for photos. So on this tiny screen, we wanted to make sure that we were using the entire real estate to get people the content that was most important to them. Lastly, we do really well in SEO. SEO is a really important component of all of our web traffic. And so we actually get a lot of traffic directly into a home details page or into a listing that actually never goes through our search experience. They never see what Zillow's about. They never know how to set filters. They don't know how to look for a home nearby. We added a very tiny little blue banner that kind of blends into the background that says something radical, which is, hey, you're looking at this home in Queen Anne. Guess what? There are 25 other homes nearby that maybe you should check out. This banner alone had a 25% increase in page views in A/B testing. So every good story has a moral. This one does as well. So at the end of the day, you guys are mostly in startups, I think, based on Red's show of hands at the beginning. You will get to a point where you have to rethink what you're doing. And the moral here is that if you solve the right problems for consumers, not any problem, but the right problems, really small changes can have a huge impact. So we did a lot of other stuff too to get to this goal. I'm kind of simplifying things for a 3-minute presentation. So at this point, you're probably wondering, well, did we make it? So today we had our all hands meeting, and we sort of called the end of this big initiative across the company. We didn't quite make it. In the last 12 months, we acquired a small company called Trulia, which is the second largest real estate company in the US. So we got a little distracted. But even despite that, we actually over tripled our page views on mobile web, and we're currently on trajectory to hit this year. So it's a pretty phenomenal story with some very small changes and a lot of attention to detail. So cool. So I guess now questions. Yeah, so we have a really
Hey,
great...
Jenny, can you repeat the question?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the question was, how do you identify the right user problems? And ironically, somebody else asked me this question earlier today, and I had to actually think about it, thank God. So basically, we do a ton of stuff. So we start with site data, which is great when you're a site of our size, and it's awesome if you're big because you can run a ton of A/B tests and test things. If you're a startup, you don't necessarily get that luxury. We do focus group testing. We do qualitative research. We do one-on-one interviews with customers. We do one-on-one interviews with agents. Then we'll rapid prototype, and then we'll take that stuff back to users, and we'll get their feedback before we ever start developing. Then we A/B test, and then we iterate. So when you're talking about it, there's tons of tools at your disposal. You just have to pick the right ones for your business. Yeah, I think we actually, this is going to sound like a pitch. I think we use usertesting.com. It's like super, we give them our prototype and we're like, tell us what you like. And every once in a while, if we're doing something super secretive, which is not that often in real estate, then we'll actually bring people into the office and we'll even do paper mock-ups and be like, if you push this button, right? But usually it's just usertesting.com. Yep, we've definitely thought about it. Yeah, that's the end of all I'm going to say on that. Cool. Any other questions?
What's next?
Oh, what's next? We've got some really cool stuff coming that I'm pretty excited about, but I can't actually talk about. I don't actually know what I'm allowed to talk about. It's just apparently nothing. I'm kidding. It's really fun. It's a really fun time to be in real estate. It's a super competitive space. I know somebody else who I met earlier was working in it, doing some really cool stuff. When you have a hyper-competitive industry, there's really rapid innovation happening, and we have an amazing dev team, and cool stuff's going to be coming out of all of our companies next 12 months. A couple of years ago, yeah. We did a similar, so this is a company initiative, we call it The Play. We ran one for mobile apps back in 2010, 2011 to triple mobile app usage. My boss ran that one. I'm just going to say his numbers were a lot smaller than mine. No, I'm joking. No, it was really great. And mobile apps, we continue to invest, and actually that's my core team is mobile apps. So we're going to continue to do some pretty cool stuff in that space.